Nasa niyo ang book, Effective Interest Method? Can you please check it? So I only have bonds payable. Okay, separate chapter. Okay. So in my book, unsa man isa ako ang book? I guess the effective interest method was merged with the bonds payable, but okay, it was merged. And unlike siguro sa inyo ha, lahi no, the bonds payable and effective interest method, nakalahi yung chapter. Dili ko familiar sa book. So, anyway, basta either inyo ang gamiton na siya. So, in our kuan karon topic, we will discuss bonds payable and effective interest method. So, actually, kanang effective interest method is part of bonds payable. Okay? In a bonds payable, bonds man na siya utang, so there is an interest since that is a long-term debt. Now, how do we compute for those interest? So nating interest nga mabayaran, but there are those interest nga kanang wala na to siya actual nga gibayaran, but it is an expense on our part, no? So in computing for those interest, na lahi-lahi nga method. We have the straight line method, bonds as outstanding method, and then we have the effective interest method. Ang usual jud ana is the effective interest method. So that is why in our module, natay duha ka topic, bonds payable, and then separate topic and ang effective interest method. Because this effective interest method is used dili lang sa intermediate accounting but to the different subjects in the CEPALE, no, to your different major subjects. So magamit yun ni effective interest method. Okay? So we will start answering with the self-check of the bonds payable. So naana ni siya kanang answer key. Okay, naana ni siya answer key. And then I hope you tried answering this one. And then at this moment, let us check whether you did it right. Okay? And by the way, reminding you all that our exam will already be this coming weekend, but kung namoy objections, I'll give you the option to move our exam, no? Basin dili mo available or you still need more time to study. Coverage. The coverage is only bonds payable and effective interest method. So gamay ra kay na siya. So I hope maka-exam na ta this weekend. Okay, later after the discussion, we will talk about your exam. Okay, so let's start with bonds payable. Okay, so katong last meeting nato, which is still last week because last week it was holiday. So that meeting, sa atong last meeting, we've discussed the different types of bonds payable, di ba? Those bonds payable that are paid through installment, which we call as, unsa to? Serial bonds, no? Those nga gibayaran nato in lump sum, we have the term bonds, no? Napay dahil nga bonds, we have the debenture bonds, the mortgage bonds, and so on. Okay, so ako ang i-open sa akong book ha. Page 182. Okay, so we have the term and serial bonds, secured and unsecured bonds, registered and bearer bonds. Okay, so let's start with number 1. So this is lesson 1, bonds payable, number 1. Okay, you may also send your answer, no, in the chat box. Okay, question. What is the total amount of serial bonds? So when we say serial bonds, from the term itself, serial, so series. So that means in installment. So haman diri ang in installment. First, sinking funds. Sinking fund bonds, maturing installment. So, klaro kaayo, that is a serial bonds. And that amounts to 2,200,000. Okay? Wait lang. Okay, next. Industrial revenue bonds maturing in installments. So serial bonds, yes, it is a serial bond. And that is 1,800,000. Next, subordinated bonds maturing on a single date. Okay, single man na, single date, so lump sum. So that is not a serial bond. So how much is our total serial bonds? So we only have 2 and 1/8, and that is 4 million pesos. And that would be letter boy. Okay? Yes, that is letter boy. So, check ha. Sakto na ba sa answer key? Sakto na ba inyong answer? So, you check. Next, number 2. What is the total amount of debenture bonds? What do we mean by debenture bonds? Kanang bonds nga walay collateral. Okay, we have 3 types of bonds according to whether secured or unsecured. So according to security, first, mortgage bonds, second, collateral bonds, and third, debenture bonds. Ang mortgage bonds, katong mortgage, it was mortgaged by real properties. Ang collateral trust bonds, it is mortgaged by stocks or bonds of another corporation. But when we say debenture bonds, kana siya without security. Okay, so kanang wala siya secure by anything, no? Just in an ordinary bond. So, ahaman diri ang not secured. First, bonds maturing in installments, secured by machinery, wala na ilabot. Okay, that is a secured bond. Bonds maturing in a single date, secured by reality. This is not reality. This should be realty. Okay, meaning kanang realty, house and lot. Okay, so building, lot. So, this is not a debenture bond because it is secured. And we have collateral trust bonds. Collateral trust bonds secured by a stock or bonds of another corporation. So, therefore, silang tanan secured. And so, therefore, none of them are debenture bonds. So, pila nga to ang total debenture bonds? That would be 0. Okay? Number 2, 0. Next, number 3. What is the total amount of term bonds? Okay, term bonds meaning maturing in lump sum. So there is a single due date. Okay. Blue Company reported the following long-term debt on December 31, 2016. First, 9% registered debentures, callable in 2017, due in 2018. 11% collateral trust bonds convertible into ordinary shares beginning in 2017, due 2018. 10% subordinate debentures, 5 million, maturing annually beginning in 2017. Okay, so what do you think? Maturing annually, wala na ni. That is serial, no? 9% registered debentures, callable in 2017 and due in 2018. So callable means kanang although dili pa siya due pero pwede na siya paninglon. Okay? So since this only has a one-time due date, so that is a term bond. Okay, that is part of the term bond. So we have 3,500,000. Next, 11% collateral trust bonds convertible into ordinary shares due 2018. Okay, one maturity date, single maturity date, that is a term bond and that is 3 million pesos. Ang third, wala na, that is a serial bond. So how much is our total term bonds? We have 3.5 plus 3 million, that is 6,500,000, that is letter dog. Okay, letter D. So let's proceed with number 4. Do you have questions? Okay, so I guess wala pa question dere. Kung ano na siya, kanang basic na siya. Let's go with number 4. Okay, question. From the bond issuance, what is the net cash received? Okay. On April 1, 2016, Greg Company issued at 99 plus accrued interest 2,000 of 8%, 1,000 face value bonds. The bonds are dated January 1, 2016, mature on January 1, 2026, and pay interest on January 1 and July 1. The entity paid bond issue cost of 70,000. Okay, so class, take note ha, na if ever gali, kanang bonds manggod class, na siya date. No? So in this example or in this illustration, the date of the bonds is January 1. So when you say that the date is January 1, 2016, so that means mag-start na dira og tubo ang interest. Now take note that there are instances nga, let's say, from ABC company, gibaligya niya anong January 1, ni-invest si DEF company, no? So from DEF company, di ba pwede man mapasa ang bond? So let's say, gipasa niya kang Greg Company on April 1. Okay, so that means, it is not necessary nga si Greg Company, April 1 pa niya, gipalit, April 1 pa po mag-start og tubo ang interest. Because, since the date of the bonds is January 1, 2016, by that time, the interest will now start accruing. Okay? So, the question is, what is the net cash received by Greg? So, namalik ko sa kuan, sa company, si Greg man din nag-issue. I thought si Greg ang ning purchase, no? Na investment da ito. So, coming from Greg company and then to another company. No? Si Greg da ay ang ni-issue. So, pila daw ang net cash nga na-receive ni Greg. Okay? So, since bonds, mag-start na magtubo yung interest January 1, so ang mo-purchase ana nga bonds, apilan pud niya og bayad ang interest. Okay? So, let's start with its issue price. So the issue price is, it was issued at 99 plus accrued interest. So that is 2,000 bonds, 8% of 1,000 face value. So how do we compute for the issue price? Pila ka buok bonds? There are 2,000 bond certificates. Each bond certificate has a 1,000 face value. So the face value is 2 million. Now since it is issued at 99, meaning that is issued at 99%. So we still have to multiply 99%. Okay? 99%. Next, accrued interest. So, ma'am, nga magbayad man nag-accrued interest? Take note, si Greg man ang nag-issue, meaning siya man ang utang. Nga naman nga, ang nag-invest, siya pa hinuon ang mubayad og accrued interest. Nga naman na class. It's because ang may tabo manggod ana kay kani si Greg Company, since the date of the bonds is January 1, 2016 and then it will mature on January 1, 2026. So that means nga every year magbayad na siya og interest sa iyang mga bondholders. Now if ever ang isa ka company, let's say kani January 1 ang date sa bonds, April 1 pa gipalit. So if ever dili bayaran ng interest, ang accrued interest, kung maghatag na si Greg Company og interest, ang mahatag sa company nga ning palit, or let's say, ang mahatag sa bondholder would be 1 year. No? Kay mo man ang date sa bonds, 1 year. Pero, if since, ingana, no, 1 year, so, kanang, dili siya sakto, kay nga naman, April 1 pa man nagsugod, no? April 1. So, April 1 to January 1, that is still 9 months. So, 9 months pa niya gihawiran. Di na siya pwede mo dawat og 1 year. So, para ang iyang madawat, although iyang madawat by the next year of January 1 is 1 year, okay? 1 year iyang madawat. Pero sa sugod pa lang, bayaran niya ang balik 3 months. So, murag, kumbaga bitaw, para ma-compensate, no? 'Di ba? Bayaran niya karon ang katong 3 months nga ning labay para pag-abot ng January 1, 12 months gihapon ang iyahang madawat. So kung ato siyang i-compensate, nimbayad siya 3 months, nakadawat siya og balik 12 months, so pila lang iyang interest income. Actually, that would only be iyang interest nga nadawat, rather, actually that would only be 9 months. Kaya gibayaran man niya ang 3 months. So that's why we have to compute for its accrued interest. Okay, so i-appeal na siya sa cash proceeds ni bond issuer, no, which is si Greg Company. So how much is that accrued interest? It will start with the date of the bond and then taman sa kung kanus siya gi-purchase, no? So accrued interest, of course, mag-base na siya sa face value. Pila to atong face value? 2,000 times 1,000. So that is 2 million pesos. Multiplied by 8%. So times 8%. So since that is good for 1 year month, so we still have to get the portion of that 3 months. That is from January 1 to April 1. So January 1, February 1, March 1, then April 1. That is 3 months. So this is supposed to be 3 over 12. So the accrued interest would only be 40,000. Okay? So, how about the bond issue cost? Okay, so kaning bond issue cost, kay kinsa man ning cost sa nag-issue sa bonds, kay bond issue cost. So, if you paid bond issue cost para makuha nimo ang particular nga if you paid bond issue cost para maka-issue ka og bonds, so that means it will be deducted on the amount that you received. Okay? So actually, the total amount that you received was 1,980 plus 40,000, that is 2,020,000. Unya kay nagbayad lang ka og bond issue cost, so pila na lang ang imuhang net cash received. So 2,020, so 2,020,000 minus 70,000. So ang imuhang net cash proceeds would be 1,950,000, and that is letter C. Okay, net cash received. Okay, so what would be the journal entry of this one? Okay, kadali lang ako i-check ha. Okay, so what would be the journal entry of this? So upon issuance, of course, nakadawat tag cash. So debit to cash, and then credit to bonds payable, credit to premium on bonds payable, or discount on bonds payable. Okay? So let's start with the cash. The one that we receive, the amount that we receive is 1,950,000. Bonds payable, take note, kung bonds payable galing account, that should always be at face value. Okay? So pila tong face value, 2,000 times 1,000, that is 2 million pesos. Okay? So what is the additional credit? So class, if the bond is issued more than its issue price, so let's say it was issued at 101, 102, 103. So kana siya na ay premium. Pero kung mas gamay sa 100%, kung mas gamay sa face value ang issue price, let's say 99%, 98%, that is discount. Okay, so na ay discount. So in this case, is there a premium or discount? Since it was issued at 99, meaning there is a discount on bonds payable by 1%. So 2 million times 1%, that is 20,000. So that is why our issue price is 1,980, because 2 million minus 20,000, that is 1,980. Okay, so pila naman eh. Our debit is 1,950, and 20, that is 1,970. And our credit is 2 million. So, sa pailain na itong ikuanan eh. Okay, we still have bond issue cost. Okay, so we have, wait lang ha. Hindi man i-balance. 1950. Okay. Kulang pa di ay. Okay, we do not compute anymore. Wait lang ha, kaya naglibog ko. 1950 plus 20 plus 70. Okay, sakto na dahil class. Okay, so we still have the bond issue cost. So bond issue cost, di ba, expense man na. So debit bond issue cost. Okay? And by the way, this bond issue cost, sorry ha, nakalimot ko, this bond issue cost is not to be separately recorded. But since this bond issue cost is to be deducted from the bonds payable, so meaning if there is bond issue cost, ato na siyang i-lump with the discount on bonds payable. Okay? So kaniha, if there is a discount on bonds payable, it will be lumped with the bond issue cost. Okay? So meaning, i-add nimo silang duha. However, if there is a premium on bonds payable, the bond issue cost will be netted. Okay? Netted against the bond issue cost. So in this case, is there a premium or discount? There is a discount. So isa sa ilhanan, pwede ninyo yung ilhanan whether i-lump ba siya or i-net. So nakunaon na ninyo ang ilahang normal balance. Discount on bonds payable is debit. Bond issue cost being an expense ihang nature, so that is also debit. So that's why they are added. Okay, both are added. While ang premium on bonds payable, that is credit. Yeah, bond issue cost, debit, so they are netted against each other. So i-minus sila. So in this case, since this is discount on bonds payable, so it will be lumped together. So we have discount on bonds payable of 20,000 plus idungog na to ang bond issue cost nga 70,000. Okay, so we now have a total bond, a total discount on bonds payable nga 90,000. So, since this discount on bonds payable will be amortized, okay, it will be amortized over the remaining term. So, since naka-lump man dire ang bond issue cost, so that means they will be amortized together. Okay? So, they will be amortized together. Okay, now how about this accrued interest? So, since this accrued interest is, di ba, kanang supposedly, imuhang bayaran yung interest, inigabot sa January 1, next year January 1 is 1 year. No? Pero di siya sakto nga 1 year jud. It's because April 1 pa man gisugdan na butang. So, it should be 9 months. Nya pag-abot ng January 1, diretso naman kaana 1 year. So, that's why, at this moment, mag-credit na kadaan sa accrued interest nga 40,000. Okay, para, iniabot next year, ang mahitabuan na is, or iniabot sa end of the year, ang mahitabuan na is, although imo ang gi-record na interest expense, diba debit man na. Or let's say debit interest expense, 2 million times 8%. So, ang 1 year is 160,000. Mao na imong ma-record. Pero di ba actually, April 1 pa man gisugdan og utang? So, April 1 pa dapat mag-start og count sa interest expense. But the effect with this would be so good na siya sa April 1 because we debited 160. We credited the 3 months which is 40,000. So, in effect, that is 120,000 only, good for 9 months. Okay? So, gibuhat lang ni siya kay para kuan, para kanang uniform ang ato ang pag-journalize sa interest expense. No? Dili na siya mag-allocate. Kaya sa kadaghan ba naman ng mga bondholders, so lahi-lahi sila og term. Okay? So, that's why we do this. Okay? Every end of the period, 1 whole year jud iyang i-record ng interest expense, but dili di ay upon issuance nag-credit na siya daan og 40,000. So the effect of it would be kanang mugamay iyang interest expense since ga-credit man ta sa sugod pa lang og 40,000. Okay? So that is the journal entry for number 4. Okay, next, number 5. Okay, so same question. What is the net cash received from the bond issuance? On March 1, 2016, Kane Company issued at 103 plus accrued interest 4,000 of 9%, 1,000 face value bonds. The bonds are dated January 1, 2016 and mature on January 1, 2026. Interest is payable semi-annually on January 1 and July 1. The entity paid bond issue cost of 200,000. What is the net cash received from the issuance? So class, kani siya at 103 naman. So would that be discount or premium? Previously, discount kay below face value kay 99%. Karon, above face value naman 103%. So that would be a premium. Take note of the rule. If that is a premium, then the bond issue cost shall be netted against the premium. Okay? So let us compute first for the net cash received before we make the journal entry. So first, we have the issue price. So how much is the issue price? We have 4,000 bonds multiplied by 1,000 face value and then times 103%. Okay? So our issue price then is 4,120,000. Next is we will compute the accrued interest. So plus take note there will be accrued interest if the date of issuance is different from the interest date. Unsa gilatong interest date? That is January 1, no? Our date of issuance is March 1. So, if ever gali, our date of issuance is also January 1, pareho sila sa interest date, wala na ning accrued interest. Okay? And bahala pag mag-compute ka, wala lagi hapon kayo ma-compute. Kay pareho man na, January 1, no? So, wala kayo ma-compute. But here, since the date of issuance is different from the interest date, so we will have to compute for an accrued interest. Okay, so how much is the accrued interest? Face value, di ba? We have 4 million face value multiplied by 9% interest. And how many months? That is March 1, so February 1, March 1, that is 2 over 12. The accrued interest is 60,000. So how much is the total cash received from the bondholder? That is 4,120 plus 60, that is 4,180. Now, since we yes.
Gusto to pagkuha ang issue price, ma'am?
Okay, the issue price. So let's do it again. The issue price is the number of bond certificates, which is 4,000 bond certificates, multiplied by its face value of 1,000. So 4,000 times 1,000, and then the percentage. Okay. When it says at 103, so that means issued at 103% of the face value. So that's why 4 million times 103%. So we get 4,120,000. Okay, so pasabot aniha 103% of its face value. Kaganiha 99, so 99% of its face value. Okay? So bond issue cost. For the bond issue cost, we have 200,000. So of course that is a deduction, no? 200,000. So how much is the net cash received? Okay, for the net cash received, 4,180 plus 200, that is 3,980,000. That is letter B. Okay, so what is the journal entry for this? That would be debit to cash of 3,980. So of course, credit to bonds payable. Take note ang bonds payable ng account title at face value dyan na siya. Okay? At face value. But when the problem will ask, how much is the carrying amount of the bonds payable? You do not give its face value because the bonds payable is reported together with its discount or premium. So kung pangutana, how much is the carrying amount of the bonds payable? Kung there is a number 4, that would be 2 million minus 90,000. So it should be 2 million minus 90,000. It should be 1,910,000. Okay? Kana ang iyahang carrying amount. No? Kani siya, sa account title lang niya siya, 2 million. But again, when you're asked pila ang bonds payable, uban dyan na sila with its discount. Okay, mao man na ang iyahang present value. Okay? So, the report, bonds payable ng account title, that is at face value, di ba? Which is katong 4 million, which is 4,000 times 1,000. Now, how about if there is any premium or discount? Kaganiha, below face value, so there is discount. Karon, above face value man, 103%, so meaning there is premium. So we are going to compute premium on bonds payable. So pila man ang premium on bonds payable? Since na may 3% nga patong, so 4 million times 3%. Now remember, ako ang lingon ganiha sa bond issue cost. If there is discount, you lump it with the bond issue cost. But if there is premium, they are netted against the bond issue cost. Kung kaganiha, ang bond issue cost nga 70,000, gidungag nato, gi-plus nato sa discount on bonds payable, karon ang bond issue cost nga 200,000, atuan na siyang i-deduct sa premium on bonds payable. Okay? So, ako at among butangan diri og solution ha para mag-guide mo. So, balik ka sa number 4, we have discount on bonds payable, di ba kaganiha, that is 2 million times 1% plus the bond issue cost of 70,000. So that is why our total discount on bonds payable, total discount on bonds payable is 90,000. No? 90,000, which is the one that we recorded in the journal entry. Now, how about in number 5? Okay, so since the premium and the bond issuance cost should be netted against each other, so premium on bonds payable, we have, di ba, 4 million times 3%. Hagi ka ng 3%, kaning patong nga 3%, 103%. So that is 120,000. So, i-minus na to ang bond issue cost. Pila ang bond issue cost? 200,000. Now, as you can see, mas dako ang bond issue cost kaysa sa premium on bonds payable. So, unsa may mahitabuan ni class? Take note, bond issue cost, this is debit, no? Premium on bonds payable, this is credit. Nga kay negative naman din ang answer, no? We cannot put negative here, no? Di na siya pwede. So what are we going to do is mabutang na siya sa debit instead nga credit. Now, kanang premium, dapat credit radyo na siya. So, if ever gali maabot siya sa debit, just like in this case, mahimo na siyang discount on bonds payable. Okay? Discount on bonds payable. Okay, but this does not happen all the time, ha? Now, what if, let's say, ang bond issue cost kay kuan ra, 100,000. So, in that case, premium lagi hapon, no? Premium on bonds payable lang gihapon, na kay 20,000. Now, since the bond issue cost is 200,000, so instead niya premium unta to, mahimo na siyang discount on bonds payable. So it will now be debited instead nga naka-credit. So discount on bonds payable, that is 80,000 pesos. And also for the accrued interest, we credit interest expense, that is 60,000 pesos. Okay, so 3,980 plus 80, that is 4,060,000. 4 million times 60, that is 4,060,000. So our journal entry is now balanced. Okay, So, kung kanila nga problem yung ansiran, kanira man jud ang kinahanglan, no? But for discussion purposes, so that's why I added the journal entries. Okay, any question? Question? Did you understand? Okay, so just raise your hand ha. Naman ay raise hand button dira. So if ever you want to ask, you may raise your hand, you may chat. Okay, or you may just ask me directly. Okay, what is this question final exam? Ano
Ato sa kung ganina man ba nga ang coverage is bonds payable o kanirang effective interest method.
Okay, yes. Kanilang ang coverage. Okay, so I hope na mas effective inyo ang pag-study this time because the coverage are much less than the previous coverage. Okay? So if there are no other questions, then let's proceed to number 6. Question, what amount should be recorded as bond issue cost to be amortized over the term of the bonds? During the current year, the company incurred the following costs in connection with the issuance of bonds. First, promotion costs, printing and engraving, legal fees, fees paid to independent accountants, commissions paid to underwriters. Pila daw ang bond issue cost? So actually, these are all bond issue costs. Okay, so ano nga problem, murag theory na lang po ninyo, no? Na these are the examples of bond issue costs. Okay? So, paano lang i-copy? Promotion cost, printing and engraving, legal fees, fees paid, commissions. Then we have 200,000, 150,000, 800,000, 100,000, and 500,000. So the total bond issue cost is 1,750,000. Anong wala? Okay, namali din ni class. So, it should be, this commissions paid to underwriters should be 1,500,000. Okay, ako ani siyang i-check lang niya ha. So, ato ang i-change, 1,500,000. Okay, so we have 2,750,000. Okay, dapat ani ha, 1,500,000. Ako ang i-check, ako ang i-correct din. Okay. And then I will send this again to you. So, 1,500,000. Okay, so next. So, talagsara ni siya magawas. Kaano ni siya for you to know what are the examples of bond issue cost. Pero, if magawas ni sa exam, then, tira po. Okay, you just familiarize what are these bond issue costs. Okay, next, number 7. What amount should be reported as accrued interest payable on December 31, 2016? On November 1, 2016, Mason Company issued 8 million of 10-year, 8% term bonds dated October 1, 2016. The bonds were sold to yield 10% with total proceeds of 7 million plus accrued interest. Interest is paid every April 1 and October 1. What amount should be reported as accrued interest payable on December 31, 2016? Okay, so class, take note that the date of the bonds is October 1, 2016. Okay? Since the interest is paid every April 1 and October 1, so kaning October 1, 2016, after this date, sa pa man ang first nga interest payment, di ba? April 1 pa. So that would still be on April 1, 2017. So unsa naman ta karon? Today is December 31, 2016. So that means there are interests that were not paid yet. So kanus aman magsugod ang interest, 'di ba? We start counting interest not from the date of the issue, not from the date of the issuance, but from the date of the bonds itself. Okay? Kanang bond certificate naman na siya date. So, ang atong basihan, dili katong date kung kano saan nato gihatag sa bondholders, but the date of the bonds, which is October 1, 2016. So, in computing for the accrued interest payable, it will start from October 1, 2016 to karon nga date, December 31, 2016 nga interest. Okay? So that would be accrued interest payable. So that would be 7 million, not 7 million, but the face value is 8 million multiplied by 8%. And then multiplied by October 1 to December 31, that is 3 months. So 3 over 12. That is 160,000. Okay. Ma'am, unsa man pagkabalo, whether 8% ba or 10%, kay duha man ang gihatag nga interest. So take note, kung moingon gali ta og accrued interest payable, so kana siya ang interest nga bayaran. Now take note class that in an interest natay duha. The stated interest and I forgot the other term. The effective interest. Okay, the stated interest and the effective interest. Ang stated interest, mo na siyang interest nga nakasulat sa bond certificate. Ang effective interest is more like kanang interest, murag market interest lang siya ba? No, market interest. Dili jud katong nakasulat sa bonds. Now, ang gipangutana man is accrued interest payable. So unsa man ang imong bayaran ana? Katong interest sa market or katong nakasulat sa bonds? So it would be that katong nakasulat sa bond certificate, which is 8%. Actually, kaning 10%, magamit gihapon ni nato. In computing for the interest expense, 10% atong gamiton. But in computing if how much will be paid to the bondholders, we will use the 8%. Why? Because these bondholders do not know about this 10%. Okay, this is a market interest. They do not know about this. Pero ang ibawaan nila is katong nakasulat sa bond certificate, which is 8%. So, katupod ang ato ang ibayad sa ilaha. Okay? So, you base it to the interest that is stated in the bonds. Okay? Kung ang pangutana is pila ang interest nga bar yun. Okay? Accrued interest payable, that is 160,000 based on the 8%. Okay? So again, if you have questions, you may just raise your hands. Next, let's go to number 8. What amount of accrued interest payable should be reported on September 30, 2016? Okay. On January 1, 2016, View Company, is this View or Bow? Forgot how to read this. Okay, issued 3 million maturity value, 12% bonds for 3 million cash. So, 3 million is the face value. And another 3 million, this is the proceeds. Okay? So, meaning class, same ra di ay ang iyahang face value and the proceeds. No? So, the bonds dated December 31, 2015 and mature on December 31, 2025. Interest is payable semi-annually on June 30 and December 31. What amount of accrued interest payable should be reported on September 30, 2016? Okay. September 30, 2016. By the way, class, just additional information, gi-issue siya with a face value of 3 million and the issue price is also 3 million. Okay? So that means, if you remember katong mga previous problem, just like this one, the face value is 4 million times 1,000, that is 4 million. Pero, 4 million ba ang issue price? Di ba dili? 103%. So in that case, kung ang issue price gali is above or below the face value, it's either na ay premium or discount. Pero what if 4 million ang face value? 4 million po ang gi-issue sa imuha. So that means there is no premium nor discount. So pareho aning number 8. The face value is 3 million. The amount that you receive is also 3 million. So that means there is no premium, there is no discount. Okay? But anyway, the question for this problem is pila daw ang accrued interest payable on September 30, 2016. So take note ha, we will start on the date. Okay, date sa bonds, not the date when it was issued. So, kano sa siya gi-issue? January 31, 2016. Pero, ang date niya is, okay, the date is December 31, 2015. The question is, pila daw ang interest payable on September 30. Okay, so September 30, 2016. So kumbaga, we will start with the date natong pilion. Taman, September 30, 2016. So kabalo ta hata taman, September 30. Pero, kabalo ka hata magsugod, no? Haman ta magsugod. Ano sa ang date sa bonds? December 31, 2015. Okay? We should also take note kung kano sa ta magbayad og interest. Take note, semi-annual man ta magbayad og interest. So that would be June 30 and December 31. So sugod sa December 31, kano sa man ang first payment? That would be June 30, 2016. Okay? So sa next payment, December 31, 2016. And the question is, as of September 30, 2016, pila daw ang accrued interest payable. So, haman ta magsugod sa December 31, 2015 or June 30, 2016. That would be on June 30, 2016. Kay, dito man ta, diri man ta last nagbayad, no? So, dili na ta musugod aning December 31, 2015 kay wala na may accrued interest payable kay nabayaran naman ato June 30. So, starting from June 30 to September 30, which is the one as in the problem, so mao na ito ang basis for our accrued interest payable. So, June 30, 2016 to September 30, 2016. How much is the accrued interest payable? Face value of 3 million multiplied by the interest of 12%. And then multiplied by the number of months. So, starting from June 30. So, July 31, August 31, September 30, that is 3 months. So, 3 over 12, then we have accrued interest payable of 90,000. Okay? So, next, number 9. The bonds question, the bonds were issued through an underwriter. Okay, kulang din ni siya, class. Ako ang dungagan. The question is, on June 30, 2016, what amount should be reported as bond liability? Okay, on June 30, 2016, what amount should be reported as bond liability? Okay, so muna na siya itong pangatana ganiha that when the question will ask, pila daw ang bond liability, so i-base na to siya on its carrying amount. So that would be the bonds payable at face value minus discount or plus the premium. And also, if there are bond issue cost, i-minus ang bond issue cost. Okay. So, pila daw on June 30 ang bond liability? On June 30, 2016, half company issued at 99, 5,000 of 8%, 1,000 face value bonds. The bonds were issued through an underwriter to whom the entity paid bond issue cost of 425,000. So, pila ang bond liability. So, June 30 siya gi-issue. Ang gipangutana ang carrying amount is at June 30. So, meaning at the time of issuance. Okay? So, at the time of issuance, the amount of our bond would be, let's start first with its face value. Pila tong face value? There are 5,000 kabuok na bonds multiplied by its 1,000 face value. So, that is 5 million face value. No? Sa patong ibutang, butang ang i-add or deduct. We will deduct the discount on bond payable. So that is 1%. So actually, pwede na diretsyo na 5 million times 99%. Okay, so kani para makita lang ninyo ang every label niya. So, the discount on bonds payable is 5 million times 1%. Agi ka ng 1% since it was issued at 99%. So, mas gamay siya sa face value by 1%. So, that is 50,000. And of course, there is bond issue cost. Diba? Whenever there is bond issue cost, we're going to lump it together with the discount on bonds payable. So, naka-minus ang discount, naka-minus po ang bond issue cost because both of them has the normal balance of debit, while the bonds payable has the normal balance of credit. Okay? Bond issue cost of 425,000. So class, isa na po na sa ilhanan ninyo para makabaluta whether i-add ba niya or deduct. No? You remember its normal balance. Kaya kung credit ihang normal balance, kung ibangga siya sa another credit, so i-add sila. Pero kung ibangga siya sa na-debit niya normal balance, so i-deduct siya. Okay? So, pila na daw ang carrying amount? So, the carrying amount of the bonds payable is 5 million minus 50 minus 425, that is 4,525,000. Okay, that is letter A. Okay. So actually, class, at the time of issuance, okay, ano ko dali ha? At the time of issuance, the carrying amount of the bonds payable is equal to the net cash received. Okay? That is equal to the net cash received because that is its present value. So, when we make our journal entry, sa may journal entry ani, debit cash of 4,525. Okay? Debit discount on bonds payable, of course, dili lang ang 50,000, but also the bond issue cost of 425,000. And credit bonds payable of 5 million. Okay, so this is our journal entry for number 9. Any question? Okay, if there is none, let's proceed then to number 10. Okay, so on July 1, 2016, what amount should be reported as bond liability? So same lang gihapon, the question is its carrying amount. On July 1, 2016, car company issued at 104 5,000 of 10% 1,000 face value bonds. The bonds were issued through an underwriter to whom the entity paid bond issue cost of 125. Ang nakalahi lang ani sa number 9 is that in this problem, it is a premium. Okay, premium on bonds payable. How did we know that? Kay mas dako man ang issue price kaysa sa face value. That is 104%. Okay? So, we have bonds payable of 5,000 times 1,000, then premium on bonds payable. The premium on bonds payable is 4%. Now, 104%. So, na-premium na 4%. So, the premium is 200,000. Take note, it shall be added in the bonds payable. While ang bond issue cost, same lang gihapon. It will be deducted. So, bond issue cost is 125,000. Okay, so how much is our carrying amount? Dahon lang nila ako. Carrying amount on bonds payable, so that is 5,075,000. Okay, so how do we journalize this? Take note ha, the bond issue cost is not recorded separately but it shall be netted against the premium on bonds payable. So what would be our journal entry? Debit to cash, 5,075,000. Credit, bonds payable, that is 5 million. And premium on bonds payable. By how much? Not by 200,000, but net of the bond issue cost of 125,000. So that is 75,000. Okay, so this is our journal entry. Take note sa ako ang gisulat ganiha again and again. Discount on bonds payable, lumped with bond issue cost, premium on bonds payable, netted against bond issue cost. Okay. So that's it for number 10. Questions? Okay, proceed ta sa number 11. Okay. So actually, this, okay, I guess not there. Anyway, question, what is the discount or premium on bonds payable? A company is authorized to issue 5 million of 6% 10-year bonds dated July 1, 2016 with interest payments on June 30 and December 31. When bonds are issued on November 1, 2016, the entity received cash of 5,150,000 including accrued interest. What is the discount or premium on bonds payable? So, we are going to get the discount or premium. So, instead nga, ganiha, ito ang ginakuha is the net cash received. Karon, ang discount or premium na mismo. Okay? So, how do we do this? So, naatay face value, and then naatay net cash received. And of course, since it was issued on dated July 1 but issued on November 1. So that means there is an accrued interest. Okay. So class, kung gamito na ito ang formula ganiha sa pagkuha sa net cash received, di ba that was, okay, that was the face value of the bonds. And then, add accrued interest. Okay, and then minus bond issue cost. But in this problem, walay bond issue cost. So, add premium, diba? Or minus discount. And then we can get the net cash received. Okay. So, since in this problem, given ang face value, compute na to ang accrued interest, given ang net cash received, unsa ang wala gihatag is the premium or discount. So, we are going to work it back. Okay? So, start first with the face value. The face value is 1 million. Pila ang accrued interest? That is, no, not 1 million, 5 million. Pila ang accrued interest? 5 million times 6%. Pila man ka months? The date of the bonds is July 1. It was issued on November 1. So, pila na ka man? Starting from July 1, then August 1, September 1, October 1, then November 1. That is 4 months. So, times 4 over 12. So, we have accrued interest of 100,000. How much is the cash received? That is 5,150,000. Okay, so do you think there is a premium or discount? This is 5,1. This is 5,150. Kulang na lang og 5,150 minus 100 minus 5 million. Kulang na lang og 50,000. Okay, pag naka-add, premium or discount? That is bond premium. Okay, so that is 50,000 bond premium, letter B. Okay, so that is for the bonds payable. So class, what is my favorite problem? One of my favorite problem is kaning pareho sa this one, number 5. Sina sa number 5? It was actually premium at first, but because the bond issue cost was higher than the premium on bonds payable, so nahimo siyang discount. Okay, that is my favorite problem. So, you answer problems like that. Ang uban man gud kay maglibog or makalimot, no? So, basta mao na to siya. Okay, so ano pa man ako ang favorite problem. Yung
Okay.
favorite. Okay.
Ma'am.
Part
Pwede tayo pabalik tong accrued interest sa number 11.
number 11, in computing the accrued interest. Okay? So, number 11, okay, in computing for the accrued interest, ako ang i-break down dali ha. Accrued interest would be, of course, the face value, that is 5 million, and then the interest rate. Okay, the interest rate is 6%. Okay. So this is the annual interest. Ako lang niyo siyang i-breakdown ha. Annual interest. So annually, the interest is 5 million times 6%. Pero, we only have from the date of the bonds, which is July 1, okay, until November 1. So, July 1, 2016 to November 1, 2016, that is how many months? July 1, so we will start counting from August 1. So, August 1, September 1, October 1, and November 1, that is 4. So, 4 over 12. Okay, 4 over 12 niya, dili man ma 4 over 12 eh. 4 over 12. Ma 1/3 jud siya, kadali lang ha. 4 over 12. Okay, and then finally for the interest, accrued interest as of the date is November 1. Okay, as of November 1, 2016 is 3 million times 4 over 12, that is 100,000. Okay, that is for the accrued interest. Okay, that's for number 11. Okay, questions? Another question? Kung na okay, so let's make use of our remaining time plus ha kay last meeting naman guni nato. So kana answera nato ning effective interest method. I know nga dili ni siya ma-cover tanan, pero at least ma-answera nato ang mga some of the problems. Okay, this is lesson 2, effective interest method. Okay, so number 1. For the year ended December 31, 2016, what amount should be reported as bond interest expense? Plus, kaganiha, ang ginapangutana is the accrued interest payable. So, yan na siya. We have 2 types of interest, di ba? The stated interest or kanang other name for this is nominal interest. Okay? And then we also have the effective interest. Okay, so ang effective interest, mao po ni siya kanang mugawa sa problem moingon og kanang this ay kanang market, no, market interest yan or yield. This kanino para ni yield 12%. Ayan. So yield rate ako lang ibutan. Yield rate. I guess it is much better to put rate na lang. Effective rate, yield rate, stated rate, because when we say interest, it more refers to the total amount. So rate na lang, kay para ang rate mismo. We have interest rate and nominal rate. So, kani siya, dili na siya, mao ni siya reason nga na ay premium and discount. Okay? Premium on bonds payable, discount on bonds payable. So, any problem if actually class nakalimot ko kung wala kung dili ba ni mabali akong iingon ron pero ako lang nang i-correct ha. What I remember is that if the effective rate is higher than the stated rate, then there is premium. I know. Bali. Nalimot yung ko class ko unsang kuan. The discount di ay. If the effective rate is higher than the nominal rate, then there is discount. Okay? However, if the effective rate is lower than the stated rate, then there is premium. Okay? Now, how about if kuan, equal sila? Equal ang stated and nominal. So there is no discount nor premium. Okay, so none of the above. So unsa may kuan ani? Ang stated rate lang god, mao ni siya to ang basihan sa interest paid. Okay, that's why kaganiha, in computing for the accrued interest payable, nag-base jud ta sa stated rate. Pero kani effective rate, mao ni siya ang basihan in computing the interest expense. That's why, when the question is interest expense, do not use the stated rate, but rather the effective rate. Okay? So let's start answering number 1 with explanation. Okay, question. For the year ended December 31, 2016, what amount should be reported as bond interest expense? Okay, the question is the interest expense. On January 1, 2016, Caro Company issued 120% bonds in the face amount, sorry, this is not 120. Dili mo kita ko nag-encode, ani. Okay, 10% bonds. 10% bonds in the face amount of 1 million that mature on January 1, 2026. The bonds were issued for 886 to yield 12%, resulting in bond discount of 114,000. The entity used the interest method of amortizing bond discount, which is the effective interest method, and interest is payable on January 1 and July 1. For the year ended December 31, 2016, what amount should be reported as bond interest expense? So class, what are we going to do here is to make an amortization table. Okay, unsay naa sa sulod sa amortization table, we have the date, the interest paid, the interest expense, the discount or premium amortization, and then the carrying amount. Okay? So, lang ha. Okay, so the date, the interest paid, interest expense, discount amortization or premium amortization, and recurring amount. So for the date, we will start with January 1. January 1, 2016. So on January 1, 2016, pila daw ang interest paid, interest expense, discount amortization, and carrying amount. Pila ang carrying amount? How do we compute for this one? Based sa katong gi-compute na to pareha ganiha sa bonds payable. Face value plus premium or minus discount and then minus bond issue cost. And then we will get the carrying amount. So in this problem, actually, the carrying amount is already given. Okay? The bonds were issued for 886,000. Okay, so the carrying amount is 886,000. This is the cash received. So of course, on January 1, wala pa yung interest paid, wala pa yung interest expense, wala pa yung discount amortization, kahit time of issuance pa man na siya. Kano sa magsugod ang amortization? On the first interest date. Take note, interest is payable on January 1 and July 1. So kano sa first magbayad ng interest? That would be on July 1, 2016. Now, how do we compute for the other information in this column? Take note, pag interest paid, mag-base sa stated rate, the one that is stated in the bonds. Okay? So, mailhan ni mga stated rate na siya kung magtapad na sila ng word nga bonds. 10% bonds. Okay? Ingana. Effective rate, this is 12%. In other words, the yield rate. Take note, interest paid is based on the stated rate while interest expense is based on the effective rate. So class, ato asang isulat ang ikuan ng carrying amount. So, di ba, we have face value of the bonds payable amounting to 1 million, no? Na ay bond discount nga 114,000. So there is discount on bonds payable na 114,000. So how much is then the carrying amount at the date of issuance? So the carrying amount is then 886,000. So mao ni siya. Interest paid, interest expense, discount amortization, unsang i-amortize kaning 114,000. So class, take note of this. If there is, ako na po niya siyang na-discuss before, but review lang, if there is a discount on bonds payable, it is, that is a gain on our part. If there is, that is a loss on our part. If there is a premium on bonds payable, that is a gain on our part. Why? Because the discount on bonds payable will, upon amortization, mahapak siya sa interest expense. So this will increase the interest expense. Okay? So while the premium, that is a gain on our part because it will reduce the interest expense. So in this problem, nantaon nato no kung sakto ba niya ato ang theory. Okay, interest paid. So first, interest paid. That would be based on the stated rate. Pila ang stated rate? 10%. So class, take note. Kaniha, di ba interest paid? Dito na siya ibayad sa bondholders. Take note, ang mga bondholders, wala na sila kabalo sa carrying amount. Wala na sila kabalo aning discount on bonds payable. Unsa may naa sa bond certificate? The face value and the stated interest. So, pag interest paid, dito ta sa face value of 1 million times interest of 10%, which is the stated rate. Okay? So, 10% stated rate, 1 million face value. Okay, so how much would be our interest? 1 million times 10%. But take note, semi-annual man. Semi-annual, January 1 to July 1. So, kinahanglan pa i-multiply og 6 over 12. So, our interest paid is 50,000. Okay? Now, interest expense. Mag-base ang interest expense? It will be based on the carrying amount. Okay, how much is our carrying amount? 886,000. Multiplied by, natin sa babaw, interest expense is based on the effective or yield rate. Pila atong yield rate or effective rate? That is 12%. So this is our formula. Okay, so to guide you, ibutang na lang po dere. Interest paid, face amount times stated rate. Okay? Interest expense, that is carrying amount times effective rate. Okay? So, kani, interest expense, so that is carrying amount times, pila ang effective rate? 12%. So, that is, and then before that, atas i-multiply og 6 over 12. Kay, 6 months naman January 1 to July 1. So, that is 53,160. Now, class, take note, di ba? Pag na-discount, the effective rate is higher than the stated rate. Sakto ba? Effective rate 12%. Stated rate 10%. So, sakto. There is discount, diba? In this problem. Now, what is the effect of discount? The effect of discount is a loss on our part because it would increase our interest expense. How? Take note, our interest paid is only 50,000. But because of that discount, ning-increase siya to 53,000. So, kibali, ang atong bayaran naman ta is 50. But because of the discount amortization, ang expense na to is 53,160. So, how do we compute for the discount amortization? 53, the interest expense, minus the interest paid. That is 3,160. So, class, sa may journal entry, ana niya, kaning interest paid, normal lang, debit, interest, expense, and credit, cash. Katong actual nga nabayaran, which is 50,000. While, since because of the discount amortization, di ba madungagan atong interest expense, so the amortization of that discount, and say normal balance sa discount, that is debit. So, when we say amortization sa discount, mugamay ang discount. Siya ihapak sa interest expense. So, debit interest expense and credit discount on bonds payable. By how much? The amount of the amortization, that is 3,160. So, class, in effect, pila na ang ato ang total interest expense. The 50,000 plus 3,160. So, that is 53,160. Okay. So, for our carrying amount, actually, di ba, ang discount on bonds payable, apil siya sa carrying amount. So, therefore, kung mugamay ang discount on bonds payable, that means mudako ato ang carrying amount. So, to compute, 886 plus 3,160. That is 889,160. To prove bonds payable, 1 million. Discount on bonds payable, 114. Na-amortize ang 3,160. Pila na lang? 110, 840. So, pila na lang ang carrying amount? 889,160. Okay? So, mo na siyang carrying amount sa July 1. Okay? And then, dito sa December 31 or January 1. January 1, 2017, which is the same with December 31, 2016. So, interest paid, actually, equal rin ng interest paid. Morag hapon na, 50,000. Same computation. Pero ang interest expense, no, dili na siya dili na ako nibutang og 886, but carrying amount. Okay? Dili na siya mag-base sa 886. Mag-base na siya sa latest carrying amount. Pila ang latest carrying amount? The 889,160. So 889,160 times 12% and then times 6 over 12. That is 53,349. Pila ang discount amortization? That is 3,349.6. For the carrying amount, 889, mudako siya. No? Ano ito mudako? Makuhaan man ang discount. So, makuhaan ang i-deduct. So, mudako. So, that is 892,509. So, question. For the year ended December 31, 2016, what amount should be reported as bond interest expense? That would be 53,160 plus 53,349. So we have 106,509, and that is letter A. Okay? That is letter A. So, ano ni highlight ning duha ha? Letter A. So class, since okay, dire data man. Okay, so class, if we're going to continue this one, pila gali na siya ka years, issued bonds, interest is payable on July 1. Okay, wala din nakabutang. So class, if you're going to continue this one, ang pinaka last date ana, let's say last date ha, last date, ang mahitabo ana is that our carrying amount will now equal to its face value of 1 million. Okay? So, yan na lang inyong naon. Mo na atong goal. Atong goal is ma-equal siya sa face value nga 1 million. So, kung mautana mo, i-add ni or i-deduct. Na 886 man ta, gusto man ta mahimong 1 million. So, i-add na to ang amortization. Because, pag premium manggod ni siya class, pag premium ni siya, ang carrying amount ani is more than 1 million. So let's say, kung premium, the carrying amount is let's say 1,300,000. Hala, the carrying amount is 1,300,000. Pag amortize sa premium, i-add or deduct. Take note, kinahanglan ta mo abot sa face value nga 1 million. So, para maabot tag 1 million, you have to deduct that 1,300,000. Okay, so as we go further aning mga ako pa ning i-discuss ning mga succeeding topics, dira na to mas ma-explaining about sa premium. Okay? And the rest of the other types of question nga pwede na to ma-encounter sa ato ang exam. Okay, so number one lang jud atong nakaya because I still have to go to school for our meeting. Any question? Any question? Is there any question? Because if there is none, then okay, mag-dismiss na ta. But before that, as I've said, magsabot ta kung kanus ata ma-exam. When do you prefer? Sunday? Saturday? Or Sunday? Saturday? Sunday? Oh, insay na gusto i-chat dira, Saturday or Sunday? Wala, ako lang magbuot. Or maybe if you need more time, pero magamay niyo ang bakasyon. Gusto mo 21. Isa man, Saturday, December 18, December 19, Sunday, December 20. Okay, so poll na lang. Sige, so magpa-poll lang ko sa ato ang group chat. Alright, so announce lang na ako ang final exam. Nahalang ana nga di. Okay, so diri lang ta between Saturday and Sunday. Para dili pud mo gamay inyong bakasyon, no? Okay, sige. So I guess that would be all for today. Kung na may question ha, pwede na mo mag-ask sa ako through group chat or pwede na po. Kung na may mga friends dira nga mas dili mo maulaw nga mag-ask, then you may also ask them. Okay? So, kato lang ha, this will be our last meeting for this sem. And then, exam na ta, final exam. Please secure your permit. I will check your permit kay final exam na. Okay? So, kuan lang, please do well in the final exam. So, if ever nga wala mo ning pasar, char, mahila, correct. So, if ever wala mo ning pasar previously, so please do your best para makabawi this final exam. Take note, the final exam has the highest percentage among the prelim and midterm exam. But that doesn't mean nga kanang ma-assure na mo nga, let's say, ma-flatwa na or something. Of course, naragihapoy effect ang prelim and midterm. So, what I'm saying is that the final exam has the highest percentage. So, kung mubawi na lang man gali mo, then you do it on the final exam. Okay? Kanang, this is an opportunity, gamay ra ang coverage. So, I hope you can study more effectively than before. Okay, you practice answering a lot of problems, but do not just memorize it, you understand it. Because if you understand the concept of a particular problem, then you will not only apply it on that particular problem, pero imong learnings, ma-apply nimo sa different problems in this topic. Okay, so I suggest you to put down ng mga questions sa book, put down nag-answer. Okay, and if ever you have questions, you may just ask me. Okay, so remember lang, ingon na mo sa group chat, yung nag-PM mo para ma-inform ko, no? Na naaday mo yung PM. Okay, so I guess that would be all for today. See you next year. Char, see you next year. And then, God bless on your final exam. This is ako magkuan. This is ako happy Christmas break. Kaya mag-exam pa man ta. No? God bless on your final exam. Thank you everyone and goodbye. You may now leave the
Thank you,
Bye,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Bye.
Thank you, ma'am.
Goodbye, ma'am.
Goodbye. Very good.